everybody. This is Pat. Team Cummins in the kitchen. I couldn't sleep, so I got up and thought I'd go ahead and marinate my salmon for my dinner, my Sunday afternoon dinner. So I got up and I made my dry rub, and I decided to marinate my salmon and get it in the refrigerator. And then tomorrow I'm gonna just gonna put it in the oven. I was gonna put it on the grill, but I'm not gonna put it on the grill because I have a little liquid smoke on it, so I won't need to put it on the grill. So what I did was I got my orange juice. I needed orange juice, garlic powder, liquid smoke, my smoked paprika, my Tony's Creole seasoning, my seafood seasoning, and a little teriyaki sauce. And I also use, what I don't have out, is my red wine vinaigrette. I put a little red wine vinaigrette in it. And I made a dry rub. I already did it, but I made a dry rub in that little bowl right there. You make your dry rub, you put in all your seasoning, and you top it off with a little orange juice. And you can also use some little apple juice if you have any. And I used a little bit of red wine vinaigrette. And I mixed all those flavors up together with a little teriyaki. And I made a rub. And then you rub it all over your salmon. That's fresh salmon right there. You just rub it all over your salmon. Really, really good. After you wash your salmon, I already washed it. And once you wash your salmon, you do what you call your dry rub. This is a little wetter than I normally do it, but what happened was I think I had it made too spicy. So I took some of the sauce out and I blended it out a little bit more with a little more orange juice and a little more seafood seasoning, so I can take away some of that spot, some of that heat that I had on it. It was a little too spicy, I believe. But the last time I made this, you all, it was so good. I think I'm going to admit, I think I ate about a quarter of it before I even introduced it to Ken. I started tasting and tasting and tasting and tasting. And by the time I finished tasting, after it was finished, I had ate quite a bit, at least probably a quarter of it. So anyway, it's really, really good like this. You rub your salmon really, really good. You know, all around the side, all around the edges. Make sure you get everything on there. Just get your hand in there and pat it out real good and rub it. Just rub it all over. Rub all your seasoning all over that salmon. And when you finish rubbing your salmon, your dry rubbing, I call it dry rub. It's a wet rub because I wetted it out a little bit more with a little more orange juice because I think I had it too spicy. Remember I told you to don't be afraid to taste your food? So I taste my rub a little bit, and it burned my mouth a little bit. I don't want it that spicy, so I had to blend it out. And then I season my meat really, really well. Before I put this dry rub on there, though, you don't have to do this, but I did sprinkle it with a little garlic powder, just the meat with garlic powder. And then I proceed to put my rub on it, all over this salmon. And I put it all over it. And then what I'm going to do now, I'm going to wrap it in that freezer paper that you see it on. I'm going to slip it in the refrigerator. And then tomorrow, all that seasoning will be then seared all the way through that fish, through that salmon. And it is some kind of delicious. Do you hear me? You can put it on the grill or you can put it in your oven. Now, if you decide to grill your fish this way, you can wrap it in some aluminum foil, but not the heavy duty. You don't need the heavy duty aluminum foil. Use the light, because sometimes the heavy duty aluminum foil, they take the heat a little longer to get through it if it's on that grill. But I'm just gonna stick this in the oven tomorrow, and I'm gonna bake it in the oven. I'm gonna take it off of this paper tomorrow. I'm gonna slip it in the oven. I'm gonna hit it with a little olive oil underneath so it won't stick. And I'm gonna just put it in the oven and let it bake. And I put it on 350. I usually cook everything because of the altitude of my house is. I found out that my stove cooked pretty good at a basic setting around 350 375. I rarely cook on 400 unless it's really specified. I may turn it up, but I'm sure I'm going to cook it on 350. And if I want to cook it a little slow, I put it on 300 because I really don't like to rush my fish. It doesn't take fish very long to cook, so you don't want to rush your fish. You want that seasoning to sear in there really, really well when you put it in the oven. And it is really good. You don't have to wipe anything off. Just get up, get out your pan you're cooking it on, your tray you're cooking it on, and just preheat that oven. Put that salmon in that oven with all that good seasoning on it. By that time, it would be seared for hours and hours. Some people let theirs sear for 24 hours. I don't have to let it sear that long. You don't have to let it marinate that long either, unless you want to. I just didn't feel like fooling with it earlier. It was still in the freezer, so I had to take it out of the freezer and let it come to a slow melt. Another thing, when you defrosting your fish, give yourself enough time. Try not to drown your fish in water, trying to hurry up for it to unthaw. If you get up and you know you're having fish and it's in the freezer, go ahead and take it out, stick it in a tray. And if it really, really froze really hard like this was, I just let it sit on the counter for a little while, and then I put it in the refrigerator, because you don't want to keep your fish out too long. And definitely don't want to defrost it in a whole lot of water. All I did, I wrapped it in some more, took it out of the freezer, and I did wrap it in, put it underneath some freezer paper, and I just let it, take it on time to defrost. I didn't put no water or anything on it. After it defrosted, I came in, then I put it under cold water in my sink, and I rinsed it really well, because those of you that follow me, you know how I like to wipe. You know I like to wipe everything down as I go, so I washed my fish really, really well. Then I sprayed my sink out with some cleaner right away with hot soapy water, and that was that. But let your fish take its time and defrost if it's frozen. And if it's not frozen and you buy it and it's fresh, just go ahead and marinate your fish down. Wrap it, cover it with something, and stick it back in the fridge and let it marinate. Don't let it marinate on the counter, because you know, with room temperature and fish, it don't go good together. You don't want bacteria to start growing on your fish, especially if your house is warm. If your house is ice cold, you know, and you want to leave it on the counter for a little while, but I don't recommend you leaving fish out too long. Okay? Try to keep it in a cold place. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this right now, and I'm going to stick it in the freezer. I don't know. Let me see, can I do this while you guys see me can wrap this? It's real early in the morning. Ken is in bed, and I couldn't sleep, so I decided to get up and do something. When you can't sleep, you may as well get up and do something. No need of me standing in bed, and I couldn't sleep. So I'm trying to figure out how am I going to do this, since I don't have him here to help me. I don't know if I can hold my camera and do this at the same time, so I may have to just let me do it this way. I might can work it out. I'm not sure, though, you guys. I'm not sure. I don't know if you can see me, but I'm going to try to let you see me as I do this. You might can see me. I'm not sure, though, but we'll see. We'll see. And that makes some really, really good salmon. And that's just one way you cook your salmon. You know, there are many, many different ways you can bake salmon. Many, many different ways. I'm going to get my, I have a tripod. I just don't have it out. Anyway, I know you can't see me, and I don't even know if you can see this fish or not, but there it is. And I'm going to wrap it and wash my hands. I have some, put some hot water here. Make my hands off, because one of my hands has some sauce on it. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and wrap this fish real fast. Again, that's what it looked like once we finish marinating it. Get in there and marinate it really good. From corner to corner, just marinate it all the way around, all over. Put this seasoning, put your seasoning all over. Don't be afraid to get your hands a little bit dirty. When you're cooking in the kitchen, always keep your hands impeccable clean, as I always say. I use that word impeccable because I want you to make sure your hand really is all the way clean, clean, clean. And get in there and don't mind using your hand in the kitchen. okay? That's what God give them to you for, to use them. So then you get in there and you make sure you have that seasoning all over that fish, just like I have it. Have it all over the fish, corner to corner. You don't have to rub, you don't have to put any seasoning underneath the skin. No skin. This is just paper towel I put there to catch a little bit of the water. I kind of dried my fish off the skin a little bit so it wouldn't be so wet underneath. But I did lay it on 2 pieces of paper towel just to help keep this freezer paper from not getting so wet. But anyway, that's the finished product. After you put all your ingredients together in a little bowl, any kind of little bowl you want to, a little salsa bowl. Put all your dry seasoning together. You can use basically whatever seasoning you like, but make sure you're going to need some orange juice and you're going to need some apple juice. But you don't necessarily have to use apple juice, but if you have any, you can use just a little bit. Don't take but maybe a teaspoonful or half a teaspoon, because remember you're making a rub, so you don't want it too wet. This is a little wet than I normally use because I took some of the, I took some of my seasoning out because it was so hot, and I didn't want it that hot, so I broke it down a little bit and took some of that heat off of it. But anyway, then you can buy, I got to buy me what they call orange ale. I didn't have any orange ale in the house, but I did have a little orange juice. So it don't take a teaspoonful, if that, because you're making a rub. So that's that. Now by this being fish, you also can hit it with a little lemon juice. I didn't use lemon juice because I did put this out. I didn't show you guys this. I want to show you everything I used. I used a little red wine vinegar with all the other seasoning. Just a drop. I think I used like 2 drops red wine vinegar over in that dry rub. So you see everything that I used. So my red wine vinegar, red teriyaki, marinate, seafood seasoning, a little Tony's original Creole seasoning. That's where I got all that heat from. Because Tony's can be the original brand can be very, spicy. Then, of course, my smoked paprika, orange juice, garlic powder, and just a drop of liquid smoke because I wanted to have that smoke flavor. Okay? And you marinate it down really, really good. And I told you that I have garlic powder on it because I love garlic. That garlic is really good on fish. Have some boiled eggs in there, so. Anyway, once you do that, you get in here and you wrap it up and you, if you don't have any freezer paper, you don't have to use freezer paper. I just use because that's what I had, but you use any kind of wrap. You can use saran wrap, you can use foil. I have all that, but I just happen to have so much freezer paper because I'm always putting stuff in the freezer. I'm always wrapping stuff, putting it in the freezer. Now meats. A lot of times when I get my meats from the store, I like to break my meats down and stick them in the freezer. So I like to put it in freezer paper. Take it out of some of that plastic. Then just wrap it like so. Wrap it like so, like that. Nothing special about wrapping it. Just don't pat it down. You don't want all your seasoning on top of your paper. You want it to stay on the meat. Do it just like that, you guys. Just wrap it up. And once you wrap it up, you stick it in your refrigerator. Make sure you find space in your refrigerator, like I have to do. I have quite a bit of food, and vegetables and stuff. So I'm gonna stick this in the refrigerator, and then I take it out tomorrow when I get ready to bake it. And it's not gonna take long to bake. And I already had my spot for it in the refrigerator. But look like my husband came in here and shuffled stuff around. So I got to shuffle my vegetables back around so I can have room for my, that's my cornbread. I can have room for my fish to go in this refrigerator. Because it got to be able to slip in the refrigerator. That's my cornbread. That's my cornbread. Remember, let me show you something. Remember the other night I told you I cooked cornbread? Homemade cornbread? I still have homemade cornbread left over. Don't throw out your homemade cornbread, especially if it's good. We'll be eating some of this tomorrow with our vegetables, or the next day. I think I'm having cornbread tomorrow. Never throw out your cornbread, especially if it's good. If we don't finish this off in a couple of days, what I'll do, I'll take it and throw it in the big freezer. And when I want cornbread dressing, I'll take it out. All my cornbread out and mix it together. That way you don't have to cook a lot of extra cornbread because you already have it saved. that's just a little tip. Since I had it in the fridge, I thought I would show it to you. You know, put your cornbread in the freezer. And what I do, I cut my cornbread and I wrap it in saran wrap underneath here. Each piece I cut is wrapped in saran wrap. Then I take that cornbread and put it inside a freezer bag. And always label your food. This is homemade buttermilk cornbread. And I should have put 719 on it, but I didn't because I'm gonna be eating it pretty soon. Date it, that way you can keep up with how old it is. But we're gonna be using this pretty soon. Thought I'd just show you that since I was fooling around in this kitchen this time of morning, 3 o'clock in the morning. Can't sleep, can't sleep. Can't sleep. And my lasagna that I cooked the other night, it came out really good. About half of it is gone already. I would show it to you, but I don't feel like pulling it out. But it came out really, really well. And I'm slipping my salmon in the refrigerator. Made a nice little spot for it here. I want it to be flat. I don't want it to be lopsided. I have plenty of room, but I'm just trying to make sure it's flat. Shuffle some stuff around. Make sure. Making sure that, okay, that's good. Okay, dokie. That's good. Now put everything back. Put all my seasonings back. When you finish your seasonings, always close your seasonings back up. And I have a habit of wiping my seasonings down. I don't like to put seasonings back in the pantry with, you know, with seasoning hanging all on it and all over it. So I always wipe my seasoning down before I put it back up. If you have loose seasonings, you have loose residue on your season, see there, like that? Wipe all that off before you put it back in your pantry. Okay? Remember I told you cleanliness is next to godliness, so I wipe all my seasonings down. I don't know if you guys can see me, but if you can't see me, you can hear me. I just decided to do that since I was up. And put everything back up. I have a funny way of doing things. I hope y'all can see my little short dress I got on. If you can see it, you won't be seeing that video because I'm not going to be showing my little short house dress. Okay, dokie. My little orange juice. I may just drink that little orange juice. I don't have much left anyway. And always wash up all your extra dishes. And then that'll be it. Okay. So I'm gonna say good night, early morning, because I know it's about 3:15 a.m. in the morning here. I'm gonna get off of here. I think I finished that little orange juice. No sense in putting that back in the fridge. And I'm gonna say have a blessed Sunday, everybody. When I get from church and make my salmon, I'm gonna finish up this video and show you all what it looked like. I finally launched my YouTube channel Saturday, which was yesterday. So go on Cooking with Teen Cummings. Look on YouTube, Cooking with Teen Cummings. And you got to subscribe. I want everybody to subscribe to my channel. I need to get at least 1,000 viewers before I can automatically video live, and it'll go directly to my archives and I can upload much easier. Right now, I have to do it a little different way because they changed the way they did it. So now I have to have 1,000, you have to have 1,000 subscribers, which is not very much to get it all, before I can do my videos right in the kitchen. I don't have to bring out my other cameras or anything. I just grab my whatever camera I want to use and go live video, and then to make it much easier. Right now I'm having to do it a different way until I get 1,000 subscribers. So share. Cooking with Teen Cummings on YouTube. And I'm going on this adventure, and I want you guys to come on this adventure with me. And I thank God for giving me this idea, Ken and I, because it gives me something to do, because I don't feel well all the time. So it gives me something to do, and I thank God for that. So anyway, I'm going to say good night. Keep me lifted up. Pray for me, and I'll pray for you. Love you all. Good night.